From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, a man facing charges related to a fatal shooting outside of a local bar last summer has been returned to Fairbanks from Florida.
25-year-old Demaryius Hinson of Anchorage was arrested in Orlando on October 28th on a warrant charging him with hindering prosecution. He was arraigned in Fairbanks District Court on Friday. Hinson is accused of driving the getaway car in connection with the murder of 23-year-old John Kaverluk outside of the Rock and Rodeo bar on the Old Steves. The shooting came after a fight involving several people inside of the bar. Hinson is one of 3 people arrested in the case, and the investigation is continuing.
The Interior's first marijuana club opened this afternoon, allowing Alaskans to congregate and consume in a cafe setting. The Higher Calling Club on First Avenue has opened just 3 days after Alaska's Marijuana Control Board voted 3-2 to allow on-site consumption in authorized clubs and retail areas, opening the doors for a new market that no other state in the country has allowed. After heated testimony from the public, the board shifted its former policy on retail areas and will no longer ban sanctioned spaces for marijuana use. Club owners Marcus and Megan Moores say they are thrilled on the board's decision after their months of hard work preparing to open the club.
There's been a lot of need and want for clubs like this, certainly a lot of support, and I'm really happy to be the first in Fairbanks and to have gotten this together for our community. You can come down here right now. You have to bring your own. We don't have any paraphernalia at the moment, but so probably bring some of that too. But you can come in here and smoke or eat or however you want to do it. I don't have a dab bar or anything like that set up, but we're not against it. As long as it's legal marijuana consumption, then you're perfectly willing to come in here and do it, perfectly capable.
Today, U.S. Senator Lisa Murkowski announced the next steps she is taking to fight back against the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's recent approval of genetically engineered fish for human consumption. Murkowski plans to push back against the FDA's decision by blocking confirmation in the Senate of Dr. Robert Califf, the nominee to be the next FDA commissioner. Now, she cited the lack of FDA communication regarding the, quote, Frankenfish. Senator Murkowski has long been adamantly opposed to the approval of GE salmon, introducing legislation and inserting a provision in the appropriations process to require compulsory labeling of Frankenfish if ever approved for sale to consumers. She says she will reintroduce that legislation as the FDA's current guidelines require only voluntary labeling.
So basically they're saying, okay, if you guys want to put a label on that says this is a fake fish, a fake salmon, you can go ahead, but you don't have to. It's only voluntary. That's not good enough for this mom. That's not good enough for most who care about what their families are eating. So we're going to continue to press for mandatory labeling.
Prior to a special meeting held Saturday, the Alaska Gas Line Development Corporation Board of Directors accepted the resignation of AGDC President Dan Fausk after he had led the organization for 5 years. This on the heels of 2 new appointments to the board by Governor Walker, including former Fairbanks North Star Borough Mayor Luke Hopkins. Speaker of the State House Mike Chenault, critical of the governor's recent actions, called the moves, quote, troubling. House Majority Leader Charisse Millette says it was clear to her that the governor asked Fausk to leave AGDC. The governor called for the need of alignment in the gas line mega project that was established by Senate Bill 138 in 2014. The governor says the legislature can expect a full organization chart for the AK LNG project in the near future. However, he reiterated during a Saturday press conference exactly who is running the show.
The legislature was very clear that they wanted to know who was in charge, and with every time that question was asked, it was answered, the governor's in charge. And I am. And I am going to, it's appropriate for me to be involved as I am in this very critical project. So I stand by my word of being in charge, and I'll remain so. We will make what we need to do is need to bring some alignment to this project internally.
All right, when we come back tomorrow, new technology will be introduced in North Pole to help keep crime down this holiday season, and we'll show you what it is. Also, the Salvation Army kicked off another season of ringing the bell across the community at various locations to raise money for the needy. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Regulatory Commission of Alaska voted 4-1 on Friday to change regulations that are over 30 years old regarding cogeneration and small power production here in Alaska.
The decision addresses concerns from alternative energy businesses that want more access to the state's transmission infrastructure. The changes clarify standards for purchasing agreements with electrical utilities and make it easier for small power facilities to submit purchasing rates to the RCA. Alaska Independent Power Producers Association Director Duff Mitchell says the decision is a key step to bringing Alaska residents cheaper electric power by integrating competition into the energy market.
This just opens the door for future opportunity. It just kicks the door open, and now if you're a village corporation out in western Alaska or you're a small independent power producer, it's just made it a lot easier for you to get into the into the energy business.
Interior law enforcement agencies are gearing up for what they have called their biggest anti-theft campaign ever. Tomorrow at the North Pole City Hall, police agencies will gather to unveil a new system they are hoping will reduce the amount of theft seen in interior cities. According to police, they will be implementing the use of a new microscopic identification system. The system is made up of small microdots that people can place on their home valuables. Those dots will help law enforcement to trace items back to their owners, something they have a hard time with when recovering stolen items. Now, the dots can be placed on anything from vehicles to jewelry, and tomorrow they will be giving away a number of free anti-theft kits to go along with them.
It started out this way is because we have a lot of theft problems in North Pole. It's per capita we have a very high larceny rate. So over the years we've tried to find different programs that would help us eliminate that, and we came across a program that allows us to try to decrease the theft, and by decreasing theft, by actually catching more people stealing people's stuff and being able to identify items and return it to the owners. And these dots are embedded with a unique serial number or a pin, and these pins can be placed on just about anything in your house.
The meeting will be held tomorrow at noon at the North Pole City Hall and is open to the public.
Huslia residents are continuing in their efforts to find a man who went missing a week ago. Alvin Dayton was last seen on Monday, November 16th when he went to get wood on his snow machine. It is believed Dayton fell through the ice on the Koyukuk River, and residents there have set up a recovery mission. Dayton's snow machine was recovered a few days after he was reported missing, but there is still a big need for help in the efforts. Although neighboring villages have sent resources, those coordinating the recovery efforts are still in need of divers and have asked for more volunteers.
It's been really devastating because he was such an awesome person, a really good person, never drank, and took care of his stepkids and his step-grandkids, and everybody just loved him. He always helped out the community. The Huslia Tribal Council's funds are limited right now, so if anybody could donate some life jackets or try to get those ones. They really need life jackets.
An emergency fundraiser is being held tomorrow from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Chief David Salmon Tribal Hall in Fairbanks in order to raise funds for the search and recovery.
The Salvation Army of Fairbanks kicked off its fundraising campaign this past weekend. The ceremony took place at Fred Meyer West at Airport Way and University Avenue. The money from the kettles is used during the winter to provide clothing, food, and housing for those in need. The red kettle has been its symbol of Christmas in the United States since 1891. It was started by a boat captain in San Francisco who used a crab pot to take donations to feed people on Christmas Day.
I think that story is a great one for several reasons. It's the history. It also shows the heart and spirit that the Army brings to its mission. And today we get to kick off in the tradition 124 years later, the bell ringing and the kettles in Fairbanks, Alaska.
All right, Joe Cook is up next with sports.
All right, he has the top stories in the weekend recap, plus our favorite on New I-5.
All right, all that and more after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here this Monday night. Time to recap the weekend that was in local sports. After suffering their third straight loss of the year on Friday night, head coach Trevor Stewart said, "Just win, baby." The Ice Dogs did just that on Saturday night. Game 2 against the Coulee Region Chill was the last home game of 2015 for the Ice Dog fans, and they'll have a lasting memory. The Chill took a 2-1 lead into the third period after a shorthanded goal. But in that third period, Jacob Stridesburg, he would tie the game on the power play after a Burgess and Aaron McFeeters assist on the one-timer. Burgess had 3 helpers and McFeeters had 2. That duo also set up Logan Coombs for the game-winning goal in the final minute of regulation. Coombs' clutch shot propels Fairbanks to a 3-2 win and ends their 3-game skid. They are now 17-4-2 on the year.
I saw a runner on the boards. He kind of just chipped it to Todd, and then Todd just kind of chipped it through the defenseman's leg. I just had a lot of speed, and the D gave me a lot of ice to skate it through, so I just kind of bared down and just ripped it at the net. You know, it's our last game in 2015, and couldn't ask for anything better than ending it with a win.
And there weren't a lot of dry eyes at the Patty Center on Saturday night as the Alaska Nanick volleyball team played their season finale. Before their match against Concordia, seniors Miranda Greaser, Samantha Hesterman, and Sam Hartoon were honored. They helped lead an excellent effort in the finale. Down 19-25 and 26-28, Alaska used that second set performance to avoid the sweep of the 25-22 win in the third set. In the fourth, UAF left it on the floor, but the Cavaliers would spoil senior night. 28-26 win for a 4-set victory. Hesterman had 14 digs, Greaser 50 assists, and Hartoon had a match-high 27 kills in her last game as a Nanook. She was presented with a game ball with her new GNAT record of 1,513 kills. UAF finished the year 6-14 in the GNAT for a 7th place finish, their highest finish since 2010. It's also the most wins since 2012. The foundation may have been laid for future success.
We've shown previous in the season, beating NNU, that there's no team in the GNAC that's unbeatable. So just to always stay confident and support your teammates.
What I learned a lot from this year is just having patience and waiting for it, and it will come if you just keep working hard for it.
No regrets at all. We did everything we could and killed our bodies in the process over the last couple of years. So, I feel good about it.
When people look back and say, when did Nanick volleyball become so good? They're going to look at this year. They're going to look at these 3 girls, what they accomplished, and they're going to say, that's it. That's when these girls turned that thing around.
And after a tough weekend of hockey in Big Rapids, Michigan, the Alaska Naniks didn't lose, but they didn't win either. Saturday, the Naniks skated to a 3-3 tie with the Ferris State Bulldogs. The teams tied in a 2-2 final on Friday night. The last time Alaska had back-to-back ties was October 2011 in the CCHA days. Nolan Heisman's clutch power play goal in the final minute forced overtime for Alaska. Jason Fernsler, a rookie, scored his first career goal for the Nooks in the first period, and freshman Jesse Jinks made a career-high 39 saves, and he is 2-0-2 on the year. Next up for Alaska are the Michigan Tech Huskies this weekend at home. In basketball, the UAF women's team finished their Hawaii road trip with a win. Alaska defeated Hawaii Hilo 87-55 on Saturday. The Nooks forced 27 turnovers and led by as much as 35 in this one. Stephanie Toomson had a career-high 25 points and 9 rebounds for Alaska. Jordan Wilson added a season-high 23 points in the win. She was a perfect 11 for 11 from the field. How about that? The Naniks have won back-to-back games and improved to 3-2 on the year. They will host the Mount McKinley Bank North Star Invitational this week. More on that tourney in tomorrow's Nanick Corner. And now we wrap up the weekend recap with another edition of the I-5 Interior Top 5 Plays.
Starting at number 5, junior forward Mike Coyley of the Monroe Rams puts up 4 points in an 8-0 win over Hutchinson as the Rams win the HIT tournament title on Saturday. Number 4, we got skiing. West Valley's Benjamin Koenig blazes a trail on Birch Hill and comes from behind to win the first town series by 2.8 seconds over teammate Ty Donaldson on Saturday. Number 3, on Friday night, the Ice Dogs were down by a goal in the last minute, but Tyler Tomberlin forces overtime with a fiery one-timer for the game-tying goal. But the Chill win 4-3 in overtime. Play number 2 in her last match, Alaska senior Sam Hartoon swings for a match-best 27 kills in a 4-set loss to Concordia on Saturday. She finishes with 1,513 career kills, the most all-time by any GNAC player. Number 1, this is how you get off the schneid clutch play. Todd Burgess and Aaron McFeeters feed Logan Coombs, who scores the game winner in the final minute, vaulting Fairbanks to a 3-2 win on Saturday night over Cooley Region, ending a 3-game losing streak. To vote for the play of the week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into our Monday night edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather, and we're talking about a big change in the weather. We have a major storm moving our direction, bringing lots of weather with it. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Our photograph night sent in by Susan Brainerd, and the thing that's really unique about this is a big old piece of ice that was sitting in her dog's bowl. It was the complete shape there. She was able to capture a leaf in it and then held it up to the sky and took the photograph. Nice photograph, really cool. And again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Here, and once again, a reminder that we have Fab Photos on right now. Our Fab Photo calendar is out, and we're losing opportunities for you to pick it up because they're going out like hotcakes. You can pick them up in many places across the interior, including the Kindle Auto, and also we have the Fudge Pot, and even let's see what else we got in there. I'm trying to think of it. Sequence 4 has got one too. Anyway, you go by, pick them up, and use them for Christmas stocking stuffers. They work really good. All right, here's your forecast temperatures for today. The recent high today was 14 degrees. The overnight low down to 2 degrees above. The record high 47 in 1947. The record low in 36 below in 1994. And that's a loss of today on daylight time of about 6 minutes, equaling 5 hours and 28 minutes of daylight. Now, the satellite picture, very intriguing, very interesting. A huge area of low pressure sitting out over the Bering Sea with a strong frontal boundary moving across the state, marching across, bringing with it a wide variety of weather. And this includes winds gusting to as high as 70 miles an hour in the Denali Park later on this evening and the Delta Junction area. And as we zoom in on our latest radar, you can see all the moisture starting to work its way in across the interior. We're looking at light snow moving into the Fairbanks area, becoming heavier later on this evening into early morning hours, and then more snow tomorrow. Now, as far as what's going on for the blizzard conditions, don't have a blizzard warning, but we have blizzard conditions because the winds and blowing snow beginning late tonight will reduce visibility for Healy and mountain passes, and including Delta Junction and all the routes in and out of the Fairbanks area on the higher elevations. So keep that in mind. Just not a good night or a good day tomorrow to be traveling. As far as what's going on across the rest of the state, well, you can see we have rain falling around Juneau. Even though it's 22 degrees, that's some pretty cold rain. I'm sure it turned over to snow. Ketchikan, 34 degrees, partly cloudy skies. There's some snow falling in the Anchorage Bowl, 23 degrees. Kodiak at 42. Cold Bay, 41. Up and down the west coast, temperatures in the low 30s for Nome and Bethel. 9 below at Barrow, and Fort Yukon, 0 degrees. Lower 48 weather. One storm moves out of the picture. Another one is moving across the Pacific Northwest, expected to take a dive and become a major winter storm across much of the central sections, bringing with it a wide variety of weather. And as far as the wintry storm, well, you can see it's taking place right now as we speak. The frontal system dropping down and bringing with it quite a bit of rain and snow at the higher elevations. That's good for the folks there with the drought they've been having. The jet stream is really taking a wild dip down to the south and then roaring back up again, so the cold air feeding in from Canada will help to provide that nucleus for the winter storm to develop. Well, we don't have kids' weather this week because we're going to take a little bit of a short week because the kids are off for Thanksgiving, so we'll be giving you weather facts throughout the week. In 1943, northern New Hampshire had 56 inches of snowfall in a 24-hour period. Amazing. That's almost 5 feet of snow in 1 24-hour period a day. Amazing. And again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank, of course, for helping us out. And next week, we'll be visiting with the kids from North Pole Elementary School. Your forecast for the remainder of the night and tomorrow for the northern sections, blowing snow for Barrow, winter storm conditions for Nome and Fort Yukon. Over the interior, looking at 2 to 4 inches of Fairbanks in the Fairbanks area, blowing snow and low visibilities for Healy and Delta Junction. Over the southeastern sections, partly cloudy skies at Juneau, mostly sunny skies in Ketchikan, while over the southwest part of the state, it looks like wind and rain for Cold Bay, a chance of rain and snow for Kodiak, and rain showers at Bethel. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, they're not out of the picture either. Rain showers in Anchorage and Homer, Periods of snow at Valdez, 6 to 8 inches expected there. And our forecast for the remainder of the night, snow developing with 2 to 3 inches possible. 12 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, 30 degrees for the high. How about that? And more snow into the evening hours, 2 to 4 inches expected. Snow will continue on Wednesday. Then for Thanksgiving, it looks like just mainly cloudy skies, partly cloudy skies for the rest of the period there. But temperatures, again, way above normal for this time of year. Overnight lows will be in the teens. That's amazing for this time of year.
All right, good to see, Mike. Thank you. And that is all the time we have tonight from all of us here at the News Center. Have a great night.
Good night.